Hello and welcome to another episode of Sadler's TV, the 15th episode since we began all those months ago, and it's a Chambers special for today's show. Adam Chambers and James Chambers alongside me. Good week to speak to the Chambers boys. Adam, obviously 500 senior appearances last week, 17 years in the game. How proud are you of everything you've achieved?
Well, that's what I'm told him. I haven't been counting myself, so obviously it's a big achievement for myself to be able to play that many games, you know, and obviously, hopefully, we've still got a few more to go.
You were presented with that shirt. We were there at the training ground. John Whitney, 500 on the back. All the players had obviously signed it. Has it got a pride of place above the fireplace yet, or have you not got time to?
It was only a couple of days ago, so I don't have time yet. No, but I'll find a good spot for it, I'm sure.
Come full circle as well. Obviously, you began your career alongside your brother James, obviously at school football, district football, then West Bromwich Albion. Nice to have obviously. For James to have returned to the club and started your career at Walsall, and James finishing it alongside you as well.
Yeah, like you said, obviously we've spent many years playing together, you know, like you said, when we was younger. It was nice for ourselves and for our family as well to end our careers together as well. Obviously friends and family could come both watch us both play at the same time, you know, and obviously join in the latter stage of our career.
I know you've answered countless questions about what it's like being twins and playing for the same team.
Yeah, so you're not going to do that?
So we're going to do that all over again. If we can start just at the very beginning. You were born 20th of November 1980. Who's the oldest?
That's me.
Right, so, so what was it like having Adam Chambers as your younger brother all your life?
Well, I try and make him know every minute of the day just to make sure he knows his place. But no, it's I don't obviously feel the older brother, but I try and look after him as best I can in the older brother role. So yeah.
Grew up obviously here in the West Midlands, local lads. Tell us a bit about your earliest memories of playing football at any level, whether it was school stuff on the playground. What was your earliest memory of playing football?
Well, funnily enough, I came across a photo not long ago about with me, my brother and my dad in the park, and it wasn't actually a memory until I actually saw the photo, and it kind of brought back a few kind of memories of going up in the park. So I think football wise it was definitely that, having a kick around my brother and my father in the park. I think that's where it all started, I think, from what I remember.
Same for you, I just remember kicking the ball at the earliest chance.
Kicking the ball, kicking my brother in the back garden. One or the other. Like I said, we spent a lot of time playing, like I say, in the garden, the park, with each other and friends and that as well. You know, we love football from an early age, and then obviously going to school as well. We joined the school teams, and again, it was a massive part of growing up. You know, just being outside, being active, and you know, just competing against your friends and enjoying yourself, really.
How competitive were you as brothers?
I think that has helped because obviously, like I say, having a twin brother, you know, you're always competing against each other, you know, and like I say, whether it's at school or in the garden playing football, you know, you always have that competitive edge, and I think that's helped us both, you know, get to where we've got to.
You came out on top
times. Well, I was going to say, at times it was a help, sometimes a hindrance. I remember one time we was at West Brom and we were doing the dreaded bleep test in pre-season. So me and my brother were both naturally quite fit, so as the players have dropped out one by one, there's two players left, isn't there? So it's me versus my brother, but he was always better at me with the running, especially there was a lot of competition all the way through our career.
I thought because you brought that story up, you'd be the winner there. So fair play for admitting defeat, even though you brought the story up.
I know what he's better at, and like I say, fitness-wise, is that he's got the edge on me for sure.
Like you say, played football, Sunday league, Saturday league stuff, and then football gets more serious. You play for West Brom District, holy name as well. Was it always? Did you always have one eye on becoming a footballer as a professional? Was it all just about enjoying yourself when you was young lads?
We were quite lucky because whereas we had a lot of friends who were going to clubs at a very early age, and you hear the stories sometimes where players don't make it and it kind of hinders them later on in their enjoyment of football, let alone career-wise. But our father told us we weren't allowed to go until I think it was about 14, 15, and we'd actually been scouted previously, probably about 5 years before that, by West Brom. So up until that point we were just enjoying it, really. And again, like I just said, it was always kind of playing together, playing with friends in the park, in the back garden, wherever we could. So for us, really, we didn't really think about that. Well, I didn't, I know, until probably around about 15, 16, which is probably the crucial time when clubs start making the decisions on players and whether they see if they've got a future in profession.
You mentioned your father and how he made that decision, and I know your mum still comes down and watches you play as well. How big a part did they play in both of your careers?
It was massive, like, you know, just the support really, you know. Obviously when you're young you need help getting to training, to games, and someone to buy you boots, you know. The football, if Jay kicked over the fence, he'd know the football, you know. And
Jay doing the kick.
I don't remember that.
You know, it's obviously they're a massive support for both of us, you know, and it's a massive help to know that they were there supporting you, encouraging. They didn't really put any pressure on us, you know. Even as we got older and it became evident that it could be a career, you know, there's never really any pressure, just total support, you know. And obviously we wanted to sort of make them proud of us and pay back all they give for us, you know.
So you're reaching mid-teens, West Brom come calling. Do you remember the moment that you were told, or how the news broke that West Brom wanted to sign you both?
I don't exactly. I remember there was a bit of a trial, wasn't there? There was a couple of games where we had quite a strong Sunday side, and there was another team locally. I think it was it was us, Holiname and Busselome, two strong sides, and West Brom actually had 2 games against both Sunday sides, and that was kind of like a trial for a lot of players on both sides. That's probably when we knew that there was a lot of interest, and we were potentially going to go with West Brom. But I can't actually remember the day that the deal was signed, so to speak. But I think it stemmed from that game.
You obviously both joined the West Bromwich Albion, make it through the youth system, which is an achievement in itself. Then I read here you turned pro in 1999, but broke a record that season being the first twins to represent England at any level during a World Youth Tournament in Nigeria.
Couldn't have done it without him.
Great experience though, just to go and, you know, represent your country, the first twins to do it at any level as well. Something that must be still proud of. I mean, to have both represented your country away in a tournament as well.
How did you take all? Do you remember?
You weren't going to have a memory then. You looked a bit blank. I'm thinking you don't remember this.
No, I do, to be fair. I do. Remember we had trials and that as well months previous, and it did happen quite quickly. I think there's myself and one other lad from West Brom, Adam Oliver, that travelled to the tournament in Nigeria, and again it was a great experience, you know. Obviously it was obviously the under 20s and that, but the obviously the setup there and some of the players that you were training with and playing with, you know, was great experience.
Some of the guys, went on to have some really good careers. You got the likes of Ashley Cole, Peter Crouch, and Chris Ramsey was actually the manager at the time. So didn't know it then, but a lot of people went on to some big things. So.
Yeah, most of them actually made ads. My five-a-side team, she loves a name drop.
Yeah.
So he thought
did I make it?
No, you didn't actually.
I didn't actually make it.
He included players he played with at like England youth level as
well,
teammates, but that's fine.
Okay. Right.
Technically, he did play alongside them. Add first of your 500 appearances there. 9th of September 2000, 0-0 away at Stockport.
I'll take your word for it.
That means you don't remember the game, you don't remember the nerves beforehand, and it was just a vast memory. But certainly back then when you turned pro, did you think 17 years down the line you'd be celebrating 500 appearances in the game?
I don't think you don't think that far ahead, do you? You know, at the time you're young, you want to get a contract first, and then when you get a professional contract you want to sort of break into the first team, and at that point it was to be training with the first team, you know, because I had a big squad there. Then obviously when you start training the first team, you're looking for your debut, and obviously you're going to be nervous. I don't remember the actual date itself, a few years ago now, but obviously you're going to be nervous your first game because you want to impress, and you know, and it's all new to you. But the more you play, the more you get comfortable playing, and obviously the players you're playing with as well.
Here's a surprising stat: 6 games later, you score your first goal. So it only took 6 games.
It's a great finish as well.
69th minute goal against Portsmouth.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
I do remember that. Actually.
Oh, you remember the goal?
Yeah, I remember the goals. Not that many to remember. Yeah, it was a nice move, to be fair. Back heel from Rule Fox. Just ball just fell in my path and swung the right footy and flew past the goalkeeper, to be fair. I ended up playing with a few years later. Russell Holt came to West Brom after that. But yeah, I remember I had a good friend of mine still, West Brom fan, and been speaking to him and his family like weeks previous about what I'd do for school, you know, and so then I ended up celebrating, running over to buy where they sat, and sort of waving to him and that, and yeah, I remember it was a great experience. Yeah.
So there was no planned routine. You weren't sure what you was going to do with the celebration and that goal.
No, like I said, I remember just making a beeline for my friend and his family. Like like I said, I would. But yeah, I just remember it's a surreal sort of experience, really, and I just remember being elated.
Remember your first goal, Jay?
Have you not got it down? I'm trying to think. I think mine. I didn't score at West Brom. I scored at Watford in a cup game, I think.
And that was your first one?
That was my first one.
In celebration?
I've not many. No, just pure shock on my face. I think that was probably
your teammates were as shocked as you were, in fairness.
I planned to do the storage, but it didn't come together at the time. Just a shock.
Are we going to get onto his player final goal?
We can
we'll come on to that. Take your time.
There's lots more to discuss in the second half of the show. Don't forget, get involved in the debate on Twitter at WFC Official and use the hashtag SadlersTV. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sadlers TV. Adam and James Chambers alongside me. Almost a celebratory episode, celebrating the 500 appearances, senior appearances of Adam Chambers. But James, I'm going to start the second half with you, actually. You left Adam, West Bromwich Albion, in 2004. Adam went on to move as well, but tough to go your separate ways. First time in your career, you came through all the way through school football, youth team football. This was the first time. James went his separate ways from Adam.
Yeah, I think it's always difficult. I think when players have obviously grown up at a club and they have to move, obviously you're used to your surroundings. Most of the time people are local to the club and they've played with the players in and around the club for quite a while, so obviously that was hard enough. Obviously my brother as well, having played in literally every football team that I'd ever played in with him, it was obviously a bit different, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, funny enough. So I went down to Watford, and again, as a young lad, you're a little bit sceptical because you're not sure of how things work at other clubs and whatnot. But luckily for me, I remember pulling into the car park at Vicarage Road, and I think Marcus Gale kind of took me under his wing from that point there up into the change room, and looked after me for my time there on loan, and ended up making the permanent move, and it was separation for a while, I think, after that.
Good times.
In the nicest possible way, though, was that maybe a positive for your career, that you were forced to go and do that and you had to go and play on your own away from home?
Definitely. I mean, to be honest, Gary Mason had said to us one pre-season that he wanted me and my brother to stop hanging around together, which I found quite amusing, to be honest. Since we were living together at the time and did quite a lot of stuff together. But yeah, I think looking back, it's only times like that that you kind of can stand on your own 2 feet as an individual. Especially as a young player, you do need to kind of go out and experience things at another club and try and pursue your career in professional football. So luckily for me, it worked out quite well.
And as you're on the move as well, a loan spell to Sheffield Wednesday under Chris Turner. I think 18 appearances, 11 appearances at Hillsborough. How did you find your time there?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be fair. Again, my first sort of taste outside of West Brom. The players there were really sort of welcoming, the manager as well. It's a great place to play football. Obviously the stadium was very obviously big and impressive, and great history to the club and that as well. So I did enjoy my time there. They were having a bit of a tough time in the league when I went, and it was just about survival, if I remember rightly. But again, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Then obviously enjoy a brief spell at Kiddie. Tell us a little bit about how that came about.
I'd had an injury to feel like been out for quite a while. I think it was majority of the season, and I ended up having to cancel my contract at West Brom. And my agent at the time, he knew the manager at Kiddie. I think they'd already been relegated, I think, and he asked if I could come down and just train to try and get fit for the next season, and did that, and he ended up playing me just for a couple of games in the season, just so I could get back playing because I had the majority of the season on the sidelines.
Perhaps a bigger move then is when you signed for Leyton Orient the summer 2006. You go on to make 180 of your 501 appearances, I think it is now, for the O's. Enjoy your time in East London?
Yeah, again, it was a great time. See, first sort of real taste of London life, and there's nothing quite like it, to be fair. The football side of things was great as well. I went down there initially on a trial basis because I'd been injured. Managed to get a short-term contract. The manager at the time was Martin Ling. He'd said to me that because I'd been out so long, that he was going to take a while for me to sort of get into the team and that, and get fit. But I remember, I think I was on the bench and playing against Tranmere, and I think they were like 3-0 down at half time or something. So he threw me off the second half and did really well, to be fair, which it was a difficult game for the lads, but come on, managed to do okay and got a place in the team from there and didn't really look back, to be fair.
Then you end up back here, back in the West Midlands, back at Walsall, and Mark, your debut. Remind us how you got on when playing against your former club, Leyton Orient.
Yeah, well, I'd left. I had another year in my contract left at Leyton Orient. Had a little bit of, I don't know, just left on sort of bad terms with the manager, really, just how things came about. And then obviously coming here, the first game of the season is Leyton Orient, so couldn't have wrote it any better, to be fair, to score the winner.
It was quite an aggressive celebration. I think you wheeled away towards this stand, actually.
It was sort of towards their dugout.
Oh, was it?
And then I sort of remember that it was quite early on in the game, so I didn't want to get too carried away.
Didn't want to rub it in too soon.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, it was a great start to my career here. And to be fair, I remember the next game I got sent off, to be fair. So I think the adrenaline was still
the highs and lows early on in your career at Walsall. Jay, how close were you keeping contact with your brother throughout your time? Obviously, Watford, Leicester, Doncaster. You still, although at separate clubs, quite close in touch?
Yeah, during my time at Watford, I think I'd had a spell where you weren't playing, was you?
Yeah.
So you used to come, pardon me, to a lot of the games, and if you're turning up and at half time be getting asked why he got changed and he weren't playing for the second half and stuff like that. So we were still obviously in touch quite a bit. When he moved to Leyton Orient, I think you came down and lived with me for a while, didn't you?
Yeah,
and I had a couple of friends down that way playing football as well. So yeah, we were still very close and keeping an eye on each other and kind of looking at how careers were going and whatnot. And yeah, and then moved on. I think, where did I go from there? Went to Leicester, so came back towards the Midlands. Just for a short spell, which wasn't great, to be honest. Quite a lot of managers in a short space of time, and then made a move to Doncaster, which for me was a really good move. I probably didn't know it at the time. I wasn't sure how long I was going to spend there. I thought it might be just a short-term move, but played some great football and enjoyed my time up there. And you didn't really come up to see that much in Doncaster.
I went once, to be fair, and once was enough, I think.
It was, but a little bit further afield and not much to do up there. But it was a great time for me personally. Like I say, career-wise, played in some really good sides there, some really good football, and obviously I worked with Richard O'Kelly, who's been here, and now the manager, Sean O'Driscoll. He was my manager there, so I know what he's about.
Fantastic. Then you obviously return here yourself back to the West Midlands, 2011. Great to be reunited, of course, with Ad. Well, great for maybe one of you, but not the other. Played some good football here in the last few years as well. Enjoyed that Johnson's Paint Trophy running at Wembley as well. Some nice memories for you in the final parts of your career.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I say to some young players in football, I think you've sometimes in your career you have different types of football that you play. So there's times when you might be in a more successful team but you actually don't enjoy the type of football you play, and I'd had that previously before with the clubs I played at, where we were successful but wasn't playing the brand of football that some of the Walsall fans will see here. So coming to Walsall for me was great. I'd been at Doncaster, played good football there, and wanted to come and really enjoy my football, which I did for a few years, and enjoyed obviously playing with Ad and under the old manager and with some of the guys here who were very talented, some really good young players. For me it was a great time.
Obviously retired last summer now. Seems ages ago since you sat in this stand and you announced it. Announced it on camera. Tell us a little about what you've done since football and the company that you've helped set up.
Yeah, well, I'd always had interests outside of football anyway, with various different business things. But I've actually set up a company called My Farewell, and basically what we're trying to do is give people a platform to leave video messages for their family and their loved ones for the day that they actually pass away. So it's quite a unique thing. There's not anybody else out there doing it, and at the moment we're trying to get a bit of momentum and try and push forward, kind of in a football term, just kind of find your feet and get moving, So really looking forward to the future and what it has for me ahead.
Enjoying life as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, trying. To be honest, I'm always coming to a lot of the games as well.
Yeah.
I can't stay away, and again, I've said to somebody, because of the way that the team play, it even brings me back even more, I think, because I like seeing the lads do well. The captain, I'm not too sure about, but obviously I try and keep an eye on my brother as well, and I'm still good friends with a few of the guys here, so wishing them all well for the few games remaining, and hopefully they go strong and get the results they need to get the success they deserve.
And Ad, you're in your 5th season now, so you won't need reminding. 35 years old, but still playing week in, week out. I think me and Mick marvel at how you still get up and down the pitch at mid-30s. Is there an argument to say that you're potentially playing your best football of your career at the moment?
Possibly, yeah. And again, I go back to what Jay was saying before about enjoying your football, and you enjoy the style of football that you play. It helps you to want to train hard and want to just keep improving, really. And that's been the big thing since I've come here, really. That even though I've been like 30 when I first came here, the environment's created. It's a learning environment. It doesn't matter how old you are, you're learning different ways to play the game and different aspects of the game. So for me, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here, and I'd like to think that I've improved as a player, even though it's towards the latter stages of my career.
I'm going to finish with a fan question. Actually, we had 4 or 5, so I do apologise for not having time to fit these in. But Angela Evans asks, do you miss your brother not playing for us now? And thanks for being an outstanding captain at Walsall.
You want me to answer that, or?
I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, like I said,
you can be sentimental, lad. You don't have to be captain Marvel the heart.
Let it all out. Obviously, I enjoyed playing with him. Because we've spent so much time playing together over the years. But the thing is, in football, there's change. You have to adapt to move on. And obviously, Jay's doing very well in what he's doing. Obviously, what he's set up, and he's happy in that. I was grateful we had 4 years here.
He won't just say yes, will he?
He won't.
No, that's right.
You have to edit that in.
That's the best you're going to get.
We've run out of time. Ad, Jay, thanks ever so much for coming on and joining me. That's all we've got time for this episode of Sadler's TV. Join us next time.